hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? Don't let anybody make you think that God chose America as his divine messianic force to be a sort of policeman of the whole world. God has a way of standing before the nations with judgment, and it seems that I can hear God saying to America, "You're too arrogant. If you don't change your ways, I will rise up and break the backbone of your power, and I'll place it in the hands of a nation that doesn't even know my name. Be still and know that I'm God."
Welcome again to Street Talk. My name is Ahmad Shakaraki, and on Street Talk, what we do, we talk about political, social, and economics here in Michigan, the U.S., and abroad. Now, joining me tonight is one of my good friends, Miss Angela Matthews. Angela,
hello.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you, Ahmad.
We got a lot of things to cover.
Okay.
But let's start off with this Black Lives Matter.
Okay.
Because it's a how I want to put that. It's really not presenting itself to everybody the same way. So what do you think about it?
Okay, first you said that Black Lives Matter movement is not presenting itself to everyone in the same way.
Right, yes.
I guess I'm really not understanding, that, because from what I've come to understand about Black Lives Matter is that it arrived and originated from the injustices as well as the deadly force and attack on black men, I guess the inappropriate killings, the senseless killings of our African American men, and how we've been treated by, or how they continue to be treated, by law enforcement throughout the nation.
Okay.
And so Black Lives Matter saying is just that. Is that the life of you as an African American male, the life of me as an African American female, that my life matter, that you can't just, view me as none other than a human being.
Okay.
We are human beings.
Okay.
We deserve to be treated like human beings, and not just as some type of warped mentality of a less than person in society.
Okay.
And so it has always been the situation, whereas when we raise up unified as a people together, that it always seems to be, a threat, as opposed to saying that, enough is enough. We've been speaking out about this for a long time, about the racial profiling and things of that nature, but because of social media has basically brought this to the forefront, where it's undeniable that there are excessive to deadly force from law enforcement that is experienced by mostly minorities.
Okay.
So when there's a stance that's taken, when the stance is taken, it seems as though that movement is distorted. With go back to the days of the Black Panthers. They were organized. They knew their rights. They knew the rights of carrying concealed weapons. Had an agenda, had a plan, but considered as a threat, and so their movement became distorted.
Okay. we got a lot of things hooked up here now.
I got too much hooked up?
No, 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 no.
Okay.
You've thrown a lot of things in here. One of the things is that next year we're going to have an election. Okay. And I was watching Hillary Clinton.
The Democratic debate the other night?
No, I was watching Hillary Clinton at some she was speaking someplace, and people from Black Lives Matter was there.
Okay.
I was watching other guy from the Independent from Vermont.
Are you talking about
anyway?
O'Malley? The
No,
Democratic?
Yeah, the Independent from there. Anyway, and I was, but what I'm saying is they interrupted these people, but they haven't interrupted the Republicans. No, and as you were saying, you and I and a million of other blacks want them to come down with 5 or 6 things that they are pressing for. If you remember, if you read about it, how Dr. King when he got all this thing started, he had 5 or 6 things that he wanted to work on. Okay, and I know that this the first thing some of the people say from Black Lives Matter. Oh, we can't wait. We different. But the thing is that you have to have a beginning and set your pattern and what you want. If somebody just come up to you hollering about something, you don't know. I mean, you don't know what it is. So what I'm saying is that they should have 5 or 6 things down and presented to the different people who are running for the different offices. Does that sound sensible to you?
So what you're saying is that the Black Lives Matter group or the movement should have 5 to 6 concrete items or items of importance that should be on the agenda for each and every candidate that's running for the presidency to address.
Yeah.
Okay. And excuse me, I think you're also saying that you would like to see more structure and more organization with regards to the Black Lives Matter organization, which is, chapters in every, city or state. There are chapters in every city or state. And if you go to blacklivesmatter.com, you will find out some of their guiding principles as to what is the guiding principle that is going to lead your chapter or organization where you are, that's going to guide you, into discussions, that's going to guide you into how you, handle, topics of concern with the community. Some of those, deep penetrating topics. The number one that seems to be on the agenda right now is, the force, deadly or excessive force by law enforcement. I think that you do have to understand the origin of it, the origin of Black Lives Matter, the passion behind it, and I do believe that there is structure. I've gone to the site. As a matter of fact, I have it up, here on my little phone because I'm trying to be techie and all of that. And it says freedom by definition is people realizing that they are their own leaders. That's from Diane Nash. And then it says understand who we are, our definition of state violence and the current state, of Black Union. And they said, they give you the principles, learn our guiding principles and our dedication to an inclusive active liberation. And I think instead of just looking at the name Black Lives Matter movement or group, I think you have to go beyond that and say, okay, who are they? What do they represent?
Mm-hmm.
Why do they feel the way that they feel?
Mm-hmm.
And what has occurred to bring about this type of a movement or this movement? I think we have to understand before we decide to either cast away or view it as just another group that's making noise, and not really structured or not really have a formal agenda.
Yeah. That's what I'm. We 1 year away from the election now, and what I would.
Can I do
Yes,
this real quick?
yes.
It says, we affirm that all Black Lives Matter. This is on the website that I'm looking at. It says, Black Lives Matter is an ideological and political intervention in a world where Black lives are systematically and intentionally targeted or demised. It is an affirmation of Black folks' contributions to their society, our humanity, and our resilience in the face of deadly oppression. And then they've got here, quite a few principles that can guide you. They talk about diversity, globalism, Black women, Black villages, loving engagement, restorative justice, collective value, empathy, queer affirming, unapologetically Black, transgender affirming, Black families, intergenerational. And so you have to understand and find out what this group is, the movement of it, and how it may either impact or even fit into the particular community that you're in. And when I say you, I'm speaking generally, that you will say, okay, I would like to, join Black Lives Matter, and we're the so-and-so chapter, whatever city or state that you're in.
Yes. It it presents things that me and thousands of other Blacks have talked about, and millions of Blacks think about. The thing is that we as Black people, we've been here since 1502. A lot of people think, no, we was here, blah, 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 blah. We was here before the year. But I read, this was like 5 or 6 years ago, where Blacks was guiding one of the guys, I forget his name, but they guided him all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico in 1502. Black guy was on this boat and guided him all the way down in 1502. So for all this other stuff about when we got here, who knows when we got here? Because if Blacks was able to guide him in 1502, that means 14 something we was here, and yeah, so But anyway, we have always been people who, no matter where we go, we're the most discriminated, the most hated people it is. Okay, that's true. And I say this to a lot of people, but it's proven. Okay. Now, so what I would like for Black Lives Matter, I would like for them to not just say now, but all the way back, and then, as I said before, get 5 or 6 things, and as it goes on, add a little bit more. But like you were saying, we had a chapter here now.
There is a chapter that has formed in Lansing, in Lansing, Michigan, and I think we, first of all, we all know that all lives matter. We
Yes.
honestly
Oh, yeah,
do.
yeah.
I mean, deep in the heart of hearts of people, all lives matter.
Right.
We know that. And it does come a time. It does come a time when a stance has to be taken.
Okay.
A stance has to be taken in order to stop the systematic racism, oppression, and all of the other things that occur that minorities, but not only blacks, but there's the Latino brothers and sisters who,
Oh, yeah,
experience
yeah.
just
Oh,
as
yeah.
much. Where the thing that is hidden, now has come to light, and it must be dealt with. And it must be dealt with not, with a little hand pat, or sometimes you can't go politically correct language, because people get to the point where they're saying, enough is enough.
Okay.
Enough is enough of the racism, and I can't really say anything about it, because of whatever affiliation that I have. Enough is enough, of the discrimination, enough, how in areas of housing and jobs and even school.
Okay.
Enough is enough. So sometimes there has to be a raising of the consciousness of the nation.
Okay.
And I think that this is what we are seeing when they said unapologetically, I can't even talk today for whatever reason, tongue-tied, sorry, black. It's like, I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of my heritage. I'm proud of my color. I'm proud of the major contributions that my people have made to the success and the growth, of the world.
Okay.
Not only United States, but
the world.
of the
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
And I don't have to be ashamed of that. And I don't have to be afraid, to speak out about an injustice, something that I know that's not right. But we all know that there's power in numbers.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes the only way to get people to stop, their day-to-day, whatever it is, their antics or whatever, is by unification.
Okay.
One goal or one agenda in mind.
Okay.
And or you begin to affect the political arena, the political powers, or you begin to affect those who are in the positions to make the change, the livelihood and or the reputation, or something that they value in their lives.
Okay.
And I think what this group has done, it has raised a great awareness. Now, to say that has everything been done, decent and accordingly, I can't really speak on that. I know that they have been present. I see that they have been consistent.
Okay.
And sometimes, to some people, they're irritants. But the
Okay.
point, I mean,
Okay.
people, let's just be real and
Right,
put it on the
okay.
table. But the point of the matter is that they see something and have seen something that's wrong and consistently see what's wrong. And they're saying no more, because my life as an African American male or female does matter. It does.
Okay.
And if just because I am not of another nationality or another color does not make my life less than that other person or
That's,
culture or
that's
color.
great. That's really great the way you put that together. So you were saying that as I mentioned earlier, we got a year before the election. So you were saying that maybe in 5 or 6 months from now, we'll really have
An idea.
I don't like to an agenda. All right, 5 or 6 main things that we will always be able to identify with Black Lives Matter?
I think that if people, like I said, go to, like I just did and reading up on it a little bit, if you go to their official site, I do believe that you will get the information that's needed. I don't think that people should speak upon something if there has not been some type of information gathering or research about it. You see it, you don't agree with it, it doesn't look the way that you feel that it should look, and it's not functioning the way that it should function according to the visual. You know, but has anyone gone, you know, to see, you know, who they are?
All right, let me stop you right there.
Okay.
Let's just say we've got 75 and 85-year-old blacks who don't, you know, don't look at the different newspapers and all these different things that you can get news off. We have to have, you know, I guess one of the things that that I'm saying is that we got to have a way for these people also to understand Black Lives Matter.
Okay, you say we have to have a way in order for
I'm speaking of,
for
you know,
other.
Yeah, I mean older people or people who just don't get, you know.
Here's something that is the truth and is really undeniable, is that we are going to always deal with racism.
Okay.
We're going to always deal with inequality.
Okay.
There's going to always be a situation or a circumstance, you know, that's unfair and unequal.
Okay.
And the reason that I say that, and I may get pushback from it, but it's okay, is that we continue to have births that happen.
Okay.
And if you are born into a family that believes in the old way of thinking and have not come into the new way of embracing, you know, from a humanitarian standpoint, that we are all created equal.
Okay.
You know, that when you cut me and I cut you because my skin is darker than yours, we still bleed red.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when you have poisonous pedagogy continuing from generation to generation, it is truly hard to abolish or get rid of racism or get rid of, you know, crazy, lack of a better word, crazy ways of thinking.
Okay.
Because you have this continuous, it's embedded, it's learned.
Okay.
It really is truly learned. And if I'm teaching my children that there's a difference between you and that child over there, and you know, you can't play with so-and-so because you guys are different and you shouldn't because you're better, then that stuff gets passed from generation to generation.
Okay.
And at some point, hopefully, you know, I don't know if it'll be within our time of living, that it gets cut off. You know, the smartest person of the free world is President Barack Obama.
That's it.
Hands down, he is a ultra intelligent man. You do not get a Juris Doctorate of Law by being dumb.
Right.
You just don't.
Right.
It is the highest degree that you can get. You've got to have some intellect there.
Yeah.
And he has defied and he has obliterated, you know, the campaign process and just a whole plethora of things. But because of his skin color,
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
he's the most disrespected president.
Yeah. Oh, he's the dumbest president.
You know,
you know.
and that's not true, because here's the deal. You don't know a position until you actually get into it. You're on the outside looking in, and you never know what's all entailed from a job description.
Right.
It's when you get into the job that some of the descriptions of it are implemented, but half the time it's totally different. And so you come in and you make the position.
Yeah.
So those who are talking about what he should do, what he hasn't done, and all of those things, fact check yourself, because there's a lot that he has done, but because he is a black man.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That credit will not be given to him.
You know, and speaking of that, I was watching the show comes on at 8 on CNBC, MSNBC. I forget the guy's name. He had a Republican on there, and he kept asking, "Well, what will you do?" And the Republican kept avoiding that. He kept, "Oh, well, he should be doing this. He should be doing this." and the guy asked him again, "Well, what would you do? What? Oh, well, blah, 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 blah." So it's like, it really, you know, it's, I don't know what to call it, because we got all these people running now for president, and we ask them, and somebody can ask them, what would you do? Well, Obama.
We still have an upbringing, you know, that's breeding this. It breeds it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we have to go to our own people. We've got to become better with, you know, unifying. We have to become better with sticking in it for the long haul, not for 3 months or 6 months or a year, and then you go flat.
Yeah.
We've got to be better with, on the local level, our local representatives. What did you say you were going to do? What is your agenda? And we have to be in there on those front lines in a very civilized, nonviolent, structured way to say, we are holding you accountable for what you say. You just can't slide into office. So with the presidential race, if you don't mind me saying this, it is going to be to our detriment if we do not pay attention to both Democratic and Republicans and what they are saying and what their agendas are. Because truth of the matter is, I'm concerned with who's going to be the next president.
Hey,
be ye male or be ye female.
Yeah.
And so we need to be concerned.
Oh yeah.
You know, and you need to listen, because the trickle down effect is going to hit you. So we can no longer sit idly by, you know, and say, well, my vote doesn't matter. Your vote does matter.
Yeah. And the thing about it, we got probably about,
I'm sorry.
about 1 minute.
You know, that's my
we got
passion.
1 minute.
Okay.
I just want to say is that we as blacks, we can't afford not to vote because Obama's not running again.
Absolutely.
We have to get out and we have to vote.
Absolutely.
We got about 50 seconds.
50 seconds. Find out what Black Lives Matter is all about. And maybe that is something that it can trickle up to the organizations, whether it's a chapter in your community or that you know, the headquarters of it. You know, that there's some who say, let's pick an agenda, 5 or 6 things, let's stand on that, and let's make sure that those agenda items are being addressed with those who are in any kind of political office, not only on the national level or Washington, D.C., but right in your hometown.
Okay. We got to stop it right there. My name is Ahmad Shakaraki for Street Talk. We catch you in the next block. Peace.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? Don't let anybody make you think that God chose America as his divine messianic force to be a sort of policeman of the whole world. God has a way of standing before the nations with judgment, and it seems that I can hear God saying to America, you are too arrogant. If you don't change your ways, I will rise up and break the backbone of your power, and I'll place it in the hands of a nation that doesn't even know my name. Be still and know that I'm God.